Well, welcome, Charles. Obviously, let's kick off. A difficult weekend before it started, really. We should have been at the track today. This was going to happen yesterday. We're very thankful that you could reschedule and do it with us today. But what are your thoughts, just before we kick off today, with not being able to get one of the home races, the Scuderia Ferrari under the belt?
Well, of course, it is a shame from one side, but I think what is most important is the safety of everyone. What is happening is extremely sad. I've seen some images of what's happening around the track, but also what we hear now, and it's extremely sad. So I think it's been the right thing to do, even though it was one of our home race, and it's always very special for us. On the other hand, the safety of everyone is much more important than that, but it's good that we could at least reschedule this event.
Well, it makes us all very happy, indeed. Well, let's kick off with that. You've mentioned safety there. We're here to talk about the partnership between Scuderia Ferrari and Ferrari itself, and of course Bitdefender. There are a lot of shared values in partnerships, and we've been discussing earlier today and over this weekend just how close some of those shared partnerships are. So I might just get you to kick this off, Florin, to talk about some of those important shared values that you see with Ferrari and, of course, Bitdefender.
So I have Charles here. Charles. Okay, Charles. Charles is looking for the podium and even the first place. Okay, this is a dream of every F1 pilot. We call it striving for excellence. In fact, and this is really tough, and it's a lot of preparation. Okay, it's so that strive for excellence is similar for a company in the cybersecurity space, where, let's say, the threats environment is challenging, is very dynamic, is very fluid. A lot of new threats on the market, so you have to strive for excellence to protect your customers. Okay? And the second one, we have Charles here, but in fact, behind Charles, there is a large team of people working for having Charles being successful. It's same in cybersecurity. The team does matter, the people do matter. Okay, so these are, let's say, two kind of foundations, very similar from between a F1 car racer and a cybersecurity company.
If we talk about values with you as a human and as an athlete, what are the values that you hold most dear?
I think consistency and hard work. These are the two things that for me are fundamental in everything you do. If you've got the determination to get to one point with consistency and hard work, you will get there. There are some, as an athlete, there are some good days. There are also some more difficult days, and it's out of the most difficult days that you learn the most too. Hard work is something that I've always done. I think in Formula One with our work, with our passion, because I don't like it to call it work, because at the end I do what I love. On track, you see basically the result of all the work that is behind the scene, and I guess that's a little bit the same with Bitdefender. There's a lot of work behind the scene that people don't get to see, and then you see the results on track. But with consistency and also involving absolutely all the people in the company is extremely important.
We had a panel here earlier this morning between Bitdefender and Ferrari, and one of the values that came up with both companies was trust. From a role of a driver, what does trust and what does confidence mean? What are those values to you? You're getting in a Formula One car.
It's everything. For us, it's everything, because once you are getting into a corner at 350 kilometers per hour, if you have 1% of doubt, then you better stay home, because we are taking quite a bit of risks at the end. Even though the sport is getting safer and safer, there's still some kind of risk involved. And once you get into the corner, you need to be fully confident that from the mechanics preparing your car to the setup of the car, that has been worked by the engineers. Everything has to be perfect and exactly as you would expect coming into the corner. So trust and confidence is extremely important.
Well, again, those I guess values are coming up as well, Florin, aren't they? Trust and confidence. These came up this morning. So trust and confidence in your team as well to be able to deliver an excellent product. And I guess it's preparation, isn't it, that makes it all come together.
Yes, as Charles mentioned, consistency does matter a lot for building the trust. In fact, because if you are good one time and you are doing right and it is not working, you are at risk. Okay, so being at the top level consistently, therefore all the time, that really matters, and this is trust. Because if something is happening, and by example with a customer or a partner you have, and you are not there, you are not at the let's say expectation of the partner, of the customer, the trust is falling down.
Well, we've got trust with our teams, both at Bitdefender and at Ferrari. Let's talk about trust in the safety of Formula One. You've already touched on it. It's a safer sport than it has been before, but it's always an element of risk there. How important are the safety devices in Formula One, and what do they mean to you?
Well, they are really important. On one hand, it's something that we don't actively think about as drivers because, but it's something fundamental for us and all type of safety. There's of course the safety that we are speaking about for myself whenever I'm in the car. The Halo is an incredible system that has been put in Formula One since 2018 and has probably saved quite a lot of lives since it's been introduced. But then there's also the safety, like with our partner Bitdefender, which is safety of the knowledge of the company that is extremely important too. So, but safety as a driver, I'll say that again, I don't think actively about it because I don't think about the danger while I'm driving. The only thing I am thinking whenever I've got my helmet on is how to use 1 or 2 centimeters more of the track here and there to try and gain some speed. And that's it. And I'll stop pushing once I overdo and go over the limits. But and then the crash happens, and then you just hope the car is safe, and the car is safe now, so that's good. But it's not something that you think of. And again, I think if one day I start thinking about this, I probably will stop, because that means that you kind of fear it. The speed we are going through, if you start thinking about those things, you probably won't be as quick.
Yeah, but you know it's there.
Of course, and that is also probably giving us the confidence today to do what we are doing. The sport is in a very, very different place to where it was 30 years ago. I think 30 years ago, the driver could make a much bigger difference because it was also down to how much the driver will take risks and knowing that you put this life on the line. Your life on the line. Today, it's a bit of a different philosophy. Whenever I get into the car, I don't think about what the drivers were thinking 30 years ago, because we've got safety in place that is so much higher.
Yeah. You can focus on the race.
Exactly.
We can see that is obviously an important part of focusing on what you do. Let's talk a little bit about pressure. I'm going to throw this question, the same question to you both. Pressure in your roles. I'm going to kick off with you first, Charles. What's the pressure like in your role as a Formula One driver?
Well, I mean, there is a lot of pressure, especially when you work for, whenever you drive for Ferrari. There's so much passion involved, much more than any other teams, I think, in the world. And passion means responsibility, it comes with responsibility. And some pressure. Whenever we drive in Italy, we can feel that the whole country is behind us, and at the smallest mistake you do, you have millions of people that are disappointed with your mistake. But this is something that you need to deal with. At the end, I'm living my dream. I've always dreamed of being in that position when I was younger. Being a Formula 1 driver was one of my dreams. Being with Ferrari was another one, an even bigger one. And today I'm in this position, so I cannot complain. Of course, it comes with responsibilities and pressure, but you have to deal with it. Once you get into that position, you need to make yourself you need to find yourself ready when you get there. And yeah, as a team, we need to deal with it, and this cannot be an excuse of not reaching our goals. Pressure is there for everybody, and at the end, pressure is also, I think everybody is under some kind of pressure, especially in our sport where everything is really unpredictable. You are fighting against competitors that always find something and comes with something new at the race after, so you never know what to expect, and so pressure is always there.
Well, there's so many parallels that I could draw there, but I'm going to let you maybe draw some Florin. Let's talk about pressure in your role. Bitdefender, you co-founded Bitdefender with your lovely wife who's in this room 21 years ago. So now co-founder and CEO, there is pressure in your role, I'm sure.
In fact, I should switch to a different kind of pressure because Charles talked about competitors there. Okay. In fact, in cyber, once you believe that you are strong, you are good, and once you think you are good enough, you are not anymore good enough. Okay? Because there are people, we call them the cyber criminals, the bad guys, that keeps you awake. Because once you landed somewhere, they will do something more to breach something, okay, and you have to cope with, okay, so it's relentless. That's the kind of pressure we are continuously under.
So I think the cyber criminals in our world will be Red Bull at the moment.
Exactly.
Formula One is measured in well, sometimes seconds, but almost milliseconds as well, isn't it? What makes you push, and how do you find that extra, which I've seen you do so many times in qualifying, you just find that little extra 10th or even 100th or 1,000th? And where does it come from?
Well, I think it's a mix of work, preparation, and risks also. Because again, when you go for that one lap in qualifying, you need to feel straight out the box. Okay, you've got new tires. You need to feel how much grip you have from these tires. Where's the limit of the car? And you've got one lap, because in Formula One you do one lap with our tires, and then already on the second lap the tires are worn, and so you're not going to go as quick. So in qualifying you've only got that lap, and you need to put everything together. So there it's all about trying to assess what are the limits and try to be as close to it as possible. But it's an exercise that I really, really enjoy. It's a moment where pressure is running high, adrenaline is running high. I think we've got probably the most exciting qualifying of the year next week in Monaco, in my hometown, with the complexity added that it's in a street track, so you cannot afford to do any mistakes at any point during the weekend, because that means you end up in the wall. But that's exciting, and yeah, qualifying is all about risk assessment, trying to be as close to the limit, the feeling already on the outlap, and the preparation work that you do in free practice 1, 2, and 3, where there you go step by step, closer and closer to the limit. But yes, it's an exercise that I particularly like.
Now we've got a very special opportunity with you next door. We will get to meet the lovely guests of Bitdefender that we have here today. But my final question to close today's panel is going to talk about passions. And it's going to talk about passions. I know that you're going to instantly think racing, but if we take your racing helmet off, we get you away from a racetrack. What are your passions outside of Formula One?
Music is something that I really, really enjoy. I started piano during the pandemic, having a lot of time at home. I was in between my computer and my piano. On the computer, I was mostly doing some sim racing, so simulator racing, virtual racing, against other Formula One drivers that were doing sim races at home. So it was fun. And I started also piano, which is now a huge passion of mine. I really enjoy it, just to try and disconnect from the races, and just to think about something else, really. And it has helped me to, just to, how do you say that, to recharge the batteries at the end of weekends. And then sports in general. Paddle is something that I really like at the moment. Actually, I'm going to play again tonight for 2 or 3 hours. But yeah, sports in general.
And Florin, how do you switch off from the vigorous work that you do at Bitdefender?
In fact, I love reading, so it's not something new. Okay, I'm a book guy. Okay. However, let's say we are known in our circle of being dancers. Okay, me and my wife. Okay, and we in fact enjoy learning dances from everywhere. Okay, it's like what we call traditional dances from different countries, and that's kind of enriching us. Okay, so. Anyway, in our family, the minister of dance is Mariuka, is my wife. Okay, so she's driving that too. Okay, but we enjoy.
Well, next time we're going to do a role swap. You're going to take him to play paddle, and then you're going to teach Charles to dance.
I don't think I'm very talented at dancing, but I can try my best.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Charles.